Stand up.
Vanguard.
I'll draw. I'll discard so I can ride. Grade 1. Energy generator. Your turn.
I'll draw. I'll discard. In order to ride Silverthorn Assistant, Irina, I'll get an energy generator. Since I'm going second, I'll get 3 energy. Also, since I went second, I'll draw 1 card. I'll attack your Vanguard for 8.
No guard.
Check. Draw trigger. Power to my Vanguard, and I'll draw.
Damage.
I'll pass turn.
Since it's the start of my turn, I get 3 energy. Next, I'll draw for turn. So I'll discard this to ride. The grade 1 skill, I can pull her out from the soul, so I'm going to place her here and I soul charge 1. I'll swing to your Vanguard for 10.
Guard for 23.
Check. Swing for 8.
No guard. Damage check. No trigger.
So then, at the end of the battle, she goes back into the soul. Pass turn.
I'll stand and draw. Energy generator. I'll discard a draw trigger in order to ride Silverthorn Marionette Lillian. The skill of Irina. I look at the top 7 cards of my deck, and I choose 1 and put into my soul. The rest go back into the deck, and I shuffle. I'll attack your Vanguard for 10.
No guard.
Drive check. No trigger.
Damage.
I'll pass turn.
I'll stand and draw. With the grade 2 skill, since I have 2 grade 1 or less cards with Lucier in its name, I get to ride. Perfect. And then also I get 3 energy. I'll call blue-haired prodigy Rhesus. With her skill, my Vanguard will get 10k. Then I'll use the skill of Charmout to counterblast. I'll choose up to 2 grade 2 or less. And my Vanguard gets another +5. I'll swing with Charmout to your Vanguard. This is gonna be 28, and then with its skill, I'm gonna choose the grade 1 and grade 0 to increase their power to 28.
No guard.
First check. Second check.
Damage check. No trigger.
So then I'll swing. This is 28. 31 to your Vanguard.
No guard. Damage check. No trigger.
Then 28 again to your Vanguard.
I'll PG. Discarding.
So then when she finishes attacking, I put 2 of the cards back into my soul, and I draw a card. Your turn.
I'll stand and draw and obtain 3 energy. I'll discard in order to ride Silverthorn Dragon Tamer Luquier. I use the skill of my Lillian. Whenever Luquier is written over her, I get to soul charge 1. Then I choose 1 card from my soul and add it to my hand. I'll choose Lillian, add her to my hand. Next, I'll call a Rising Dragon. I'll use the skill of Rising Dragon. When this unit is placed, I can put a card from my hand into soul in order to draw 1. Afterwards, I'll use the skill of my Stream Performer, Tongue. Whenever she goes into the soul by a card ability, if I have a Vanguard with only Pale Moon in its name, I can bind her and search my deck or drop for up to 1 grade 3 and put it into my soul. I will choose Hurry and Join Silverthorn Servants, add that to my soul, and shuffle. Next, I will use the skill of the Energy Generator. I'll Energy Blast 7 in order to draw 1 card. Then I'll use the skill of my Luquier. I'll counterblast 1. I will put 1 card from my hand into the soul in order to call out 3 cards from my soul with different grades. I'll call out my Rising Dragon. I'll call out Friend of the Netherworld Lynn, and I'll call out Jovial Juggler. Jovial Juggler has the skill where if I'm choosing cards from soul from my Vanguard's ability, she can be treated as grade 0. So these are all 3 different grades. I'll activate first the skill of my Rising Dragon to put in this order from my hand into soul in order to draw 1. Then I'll use the skill of Lynn. Whenever she is placed, I can look at the top 2 cards from my deck, and I can put 1 on the bottom of the deck and put the other one into the soul. Then I'll activate the skill of my Jovial Juggler in order to put in my Lynn into the soul. Then choose 1 unit and call it out. That activates the skill of Lynn yet again. I look at the top 2 cards of my deck. I put 1 on the bottom of my deck, and I put 1 into the soul. Finally, since you're on grade 3, the units that I called out from soul get an additional 5k power from my Vanguard. Additionally, my dragons get an additional 10k power if something was played from soul this turn. However, if 4 or more cards were placed from soul this turn, they get an additional 10k again. Then I'll use the skill of the Hurry and Join Silverthorn Servants from my soul. I can use this order from my soul by paying the cost of Counterblast 1. I can choose one of my units, and then whenever my Vanguard attacks, I can put that unit into soul and call out a card with Pale Moon as its clan. With this, I'll go into battle, and I'll attack your Vanguard for 30 with my Rising Dragon.
Vanguard for 28, 33.
Then I'll attack with my Vanguard. That'll activate the skill of my Rising Dragon. Thanks to the order, it'll go into soul, and then I'll call it out since it has the clan Pale Moon. I will not use its skill, but I will continue to attack your Vanguard for 13 and Twin Drive.
No guard.
First check, draw trigger. I'll draw 1, and I'll give my Rising Dragon an additional 10k power. Second check, critical trigger. I'll give my Vanguard an additional critical, and I'll give my other Rising Dragon an additional 10k power.
First. Second. Draw trigger. I'll draw. My Vanguard will get 10k.
I'll attack your Vanguard with my Rising Dragon boosted by my Jovial Juggler for a total of 53.
PG.
Then I'll attack once again for another 53 with my other Rising Dragon boosted by Lynn.
No guard.
At the end of the turn, the card that was pulled out by the skill of Lynn goes into soul. In addition, I can choose 2 cards from my field with the Luquier skill to put them into soul in order to draw 1. I'll pass turn.
I will get 3 energy. I'll draw 1. And I'll Persona Ride. Draw for the Persona Ride. So I'll Energy Blast 7, so I can draw 1. I'll call Blue Hair Prodigy to give my Vanguard 10k. I also overcall to play Aurealis. I'll use her skill to counterblast and search for a grade 2 or less with Luquier in its name. And put it to my hand. I'll call Kalmina in this back row circle. Then I'll counterblast 1 for my Vanguard skill. Pull out 2 grade 2 or less cards with Luquier in their name. I'll use the skill of Aurealis to rest her. I'll choose a card from my drop to put into soul, and it gives my Vanguard another +5. And then I also get another +5 from the Vanguard skill. Okay. I will swing with the Vanguard. This is going to be 33-43 to your Vanguard. With its skill, I'll choose these 3 units so their powers increase to 43. Because the Vanguard's power is at 33 or higher, I'll Soul Blast out 2. So that my back row, middle, rear guard can attack from the back row and get drive checks. And also from the grade 2 skill, I'll countercharge 1 and soul charge. So my Vanguard's swinging for 43 to your Vanguard.
I'll perfect guard your attack, discarding the minion.
First check, heal trigger, I do heal. I'll give the power back here. Second check, no trigger. I'll swing with Kamina. This is gonna be 53 and 1 drive check.
No guard.
Check.
Damage check, no trigger.
I'll swing. This is gonna be 53 again to your Vanguard.
I'll PG, discard Rising Dragon.
And last, 43, 53, 56 to your Vanguard.
I'll guard for a total of 63. My trigger gains an additional 5k, and Lillian, when she's placed on rear or guardian, if I have Luquier as my Vanguard, she gets an additional 5k shield.
Then the skill of the grade 1, I return her and the grade 0 back into my soul, and I'll draw a card. Pastor.
I'll stand and draw, and I'll gain 3 energy. I'll Persona Ride and draw for the Persona Ride. I'll use the skill of Luquier. I'll counterblast 1. I'll put a card from my hand into soul in order to choose up to 3 units with different grades from my soul and call them to rear. I'll call out my Silverthorn Rising Dragon. I'll call out my Jovial Juggler as a grade 0, and I'll call out Lynn as my grade 1. I'll use the skill of my Rising Dragon first in order to put this Jovial Juggler from my hand into soul in order to draw 1. Then I'll use the skill of Lynn to look at the top 2 cards of my deck. I'll put 1 on the bottom and put the other 1 into my soul. Then I'll use the skill of my Jovial Juggler in order to put my other Rising Dragon into soul and call it out. Then I'll use the skill of that Rising Dragon in order to put a card from my hand into soul and draw 1. Finally, the 3 cards that I called out from my soul with Lucier's skill get an additional 5k power since you're on grade 3. And then both my dragons get an additional plus 20k since more than 3 cards were called from soul this turn. Finally, I'll use the skill of the tongue that I put into my soul. I will bind her and search my deck or drop for up to 1 grade 3 and put it into my soul. I will choose to do so from my drop, putting in this card, but since I searched, I will shuffle. Then I'll use the skill of the order. For my soul, I will counterblast 1, and I will choose this Rising Dragon. Whenever my Vanguard attacks, it will go into soul, and I can call out a unit with Pale Moon as its clan. I will go to battle, and I'll attack your Vanguard with my Rising Dragon for 40.
I'll guard for 43.
Then I'll attack your Vanguard with Luquier. I'll use the skill of my dragon granted to it by the order in order to put it to soul and call it out. I'll use that same dragon skill in order to put another Rising Dragon from my hand to soul in order to draw 1. Then I'll continue attacking your Vanguard for 23 and twin drives.
No guard.
First check, no trigger. Second check, heal trigger. I do heal 1. I'll give an additional 10k power to my dragon.
Damage. Draw trigger. I'll draw. Power to my Vanguard.
I'll attack with my Rising Dragon on the right for a total of 58 to your Vanguard.
So I'm at 23. I'll guard. First I'll use the skill of All Eyes on Me. I Soul Blast out 1. When she's placed on the Guardian Circle, she gets an additional 10k in shield value, so she's at 15. Another 15, so this is 30 to my 23 for 53, and then 63.
Finally, I'll take my other Rising Dragon and attack your Vanguard for 63.
PG.
At the end of the turn, I'll use the skill of Luquier in order to put my Jovo Juggler and my Lin into my soul, and I'll draw 1 card. Your turn.
I'll get 3 energy. I'll stand and draw. I'll activate the cup to Persona Ride, and I'll draw a card. I also overcall Recess for another Recess. My Vanguard gets an additional 10k. I'll call out Ramona, and I'll use her skill since I have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard. I'll put these 2 cards into Soul to give my Vanguard an additional 5k. And I'll draw a card. And I'll also call an additional grade 1 drills. Then I'll use the skill of the Vanguard to counterblast 1 to pull out 2 grade 2 or less with the sword in their name. And it gives my Vanguard an additional 5k. Then I'll use the skill of the first Aurelius to rest it and put a card from my drop to soul. And it gives my Vanguard an additional 5k. I'll use the skill of the second Aurelius to put another card from my drop to the soul. To give my Vanguard another 5k. Then I'll swing with the Vanguard. This is going to be 53 to your Vanguard with its skill. These 3 units power will increase to 53. Because my Vanguard is 33k or higher, I'll Soul Blast out 2. So that my back row middle rearguard can attack from the back row and get drive checks. And then also with the skill of the grade 2, I'll countercharge 1. And soul charge 1. 53 to your Vanguard.
No guard.
First check. Second check.
Damage check. Critical trigger. I'll give my Vanguard an additional 10k power.
I'll swing with Kalmina, so this is going to be 53 to your Vanguard and 1 drive check.
I'll guard. For 68 for an over trigger to pass.
Heal trigger. I do heal roll. And I'll give the power. Well, here. Then this is going to be 63 to your Vanguard.
No guard. Draw trigger. I'll draw 1. My Vanguard will get an additional 10k power.
And then 53 to your Vanguard.
I'll guard.
And then at the end of the battle, the grade 1 and the grade 0 will go back into the soul. And I'll draw 1. Pass turn.
I'll stand, draw, and gain 3 energy. I'll Persona Ride. I'll draw 1 from the Persona Ride. I'll Energy Blast 7 in order to draw 1, thanks to the skill of the Energy Generator. Then I'll use the skill of Luquier. I'll Counterblast 1. I'll put in a Breathing Dragon into my soul. And then I will choose 3 units with different grades from my soul. I'll call out said Breathing Dragon, my Jovial Juggler, and also my Rising Dragon. I use the skill of my Breathing Dragon in order to Soul Blast 1. This allows Luquier to get the skill where my front row rearguards will get an additional 5k power. Then I'll use the skill of Jovial Juggler in order to put that dragon back into Soul and call it out, and use its skill again to Soul Blast in order to give my front row rearguards an additional 5k power yet again. The units I called out with Luquier's skill get an additional 5k power, and both my dragons get an additional 20k power from their own skill. Finally, I'll Counterblast 1, use the order from my soul in order to choose this dragon. It will be able to go into the soul after my Vanguard attacks and call out another unit with Pale Moon as its clan. I'll go into battle and I'll attack your Vanguard for 50 with my Rising Dragon.
No guard. Damage. Crit. Power to my Vanguard.
Then I'll attack your Vanguard with my Vanguard. I'll use the skill of my dragon, granted to it by the order, in order to Golden Soul and call itself out, because it is of the Pale Moon clan. And I'll continue attacking your Vanguard for 23, and Twin Drives.
Guard for 38.
First check, heal trigger. I do heal 1 damage. I will decide to risk it all and put everything on my Vanguard, bumping her up to 33. Then, for the last drive check, no trigger. I'll attack your Vanguard with my Rising Dragon, now boosting with Jovial Juggler for a total of 63.
I'll guard. So this will be plus 30 for 53, 68.
Then my other Rising Dragon will attack for a total of 63 again.
No guard.